the POC, the PSA, the NSAs.
Oh, PSC.
Yes, the PSC, the POC, the NSAs. What are all these acronyms and how do they relate to one another?
Well, maybe it is sort of intentional that all these acronyms become so confusing. It's like confuse the enemy.
Yeah. Who's in charge? I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, the Philippine Sports Commission is mandated by law to receive 5% directly from PAGCOR.
Okay, that's a lot.
5%.
That's a lot.
Of revenues generated by PAGCOR must go to sports development.
Wow.
That's by law. Nobody can change that except Congress and the Senate.
Will you have an idea, ballpark figure? What is 5%? Because when you say 5% of PAGCOR's revenues, I just think it's a big number. Do you have an idea, ballpark? How much would it be, 5%?
Well, right now I don't have the figure of what this amount is all about. Because as I said, as far as sports is concerned, we're just concentrating on swimming.
Okay.
Number one. Second, we would like to show the public that in this one NSA, National Sports Association, right, NSA, for swimming, originally they were called Philippine Amateur Swimming Association. Eventually, when another group sprouted out, calling themselves the
Philippine Aquatic Sports
Association of the Philippines, PASA changed its name to Philippine Aquatic Sports Association. Recently, like 2 months ago, I heard that they changed their name again into Philippine Swimming Association. I don't know. It's really just to make all these alphabets look like alphabet soup.
Okay, let's go back to the alphabet soup. So, Philippine Sports Commission gets 5% from PAGCOR.
Supposed to be.
Okay, so the Philippine Sports Commission is a government agency, a government body.
And that, in turn, they divide these monies accordingly to the different NSAs.
National Sports Associations.
National Sports Associations who submit to them their programs, their liquidations. So they're supposed to be accountable and responsible for the funds that are coming from government sources.
Okay.
And in fact, just recently, 3 weeks ago, we filed a case against Mr. Ephraim Henwino, who was the chairman then of PAGCOR.
The past administration.
PAGCOR.
Okay. Yes.
Because he brought PAGCOR money into the Philippine Amateur Swimming Association.
Which is an NSA.
Which is an NSA. Okay. It's not a government entity.
It's a non-government organization.
Yes. It's under the Philippine Olympic
Committee. Now, how does the POC relate now to the POC and the PSC and the NSAs? Where does this fit in?
There's supposed to be a separation of POC and PSC, right?
Okay.
In other words, PSC is not supposed to be dipping its fingers into sports associations through the POC. There's supposed to be a what do you call this? A relationship whereby PSC gives the money to the NSAs who are all under the POC.
Okay.
Right? So the PSC is not supposed to tell every NSA what to do.
Okay.
They're autonomous.
Okay.
Right?
It's just there to disperse the funds coming from PAGCOR.
Yes, and of course, because you're dispersing government funds, you're supposed to make sure that it is properly spent.
Okay.
So that time, in December of 2007, that's 1 month before the end of the year, and the whole of 2008, and just 1 month, which is January of 2009, which means 14 months. In 14 months, 34 million of PAGCOR money went into the Philippine Amateur Swimming Association.
Before we get into that, let's explain first how the POC comes into this equation. So I can see where the PSC gives money to the NSAs.
Yes.
What is the role of POC?
All the NSAs are under the POC.
Okay.
Because if you were to represent the Philippines in overseas competitions like the Olympics, the Southeast Asian Games, or the Asian Games, you will have to get clearance
from the POC.
From the different NSAs. All the different NSAs who are participating must certify and say all these athletes are legitimate athletes and they are going to be representing the Philippines. And if you're representing the Philippines, the POC gives you a stamp of approval saying they are legit.
So you need the approval,
Yes.
or the POC has got to sign off on you.
Yes, because
for
they're
you to
the
compete
recognized.
abroad.
Yes, they're recognized by the international
By the
federations.
IOC, the
Yes.
International Olympic Committee.
Yeah, and the different federations. For football, they have basketball. Every organization here, sports association rather, is the recognized association.
So the PSC has no say in who gets sent overseas. It's a POC. It's not the PSC. It's the POC that decides that.
When these games are like the World Cup, the Olympics,
Asian Games,
yeah. But there are thousands of other competitions overseas. Some are competitions that are held by schools. If, for example, like for us, this year, at end of this year, in December, the Liman Preparatory School is going to host an international swimming competition.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
We are just a small school, Commonwealth Avenue, Quezon City. Right? So Diliman Prep School will be sending out within the next week or so invitations to many schools from many parts of the world.
Yes.
That is not a
POC,
Olympic game. No.
IOC accredited.
No, we can invite anybody we want to invite. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a list. There's a list of competitions that are recognized by the IOC.
But these little community games, friendship games.
Okay. Okay.
Wala na silang pakialam doon.
Okay.
You don't have to be an Olympian or Olympic quality. These are little games, small competitions that allow young kids, 8 years old, 7 years old, up to 17, or even adults, even senior citizens, to participate in for fun.
Okay.
And to see how they improve over the years. And these competitions are competitions that are the training ground for eventually being part of the SEA Games, etc., etc.
Of course.
Now, for example, in August, we're going to be going to Singapore. There is a competition in Singapore. Now, that's not the Olympics. So we don't have to seek anyone's clearance. But we go to the Philippine Sports Commission. We ask them
Funding.
to give us, no, they don't give us any money.
Okay.
We don't ask them for
It goes
money.
to the NSAs, you said. Okay.
Yeah. And so we ask the PSC, please give us travel exemption because we are representing the Philippines
sure.
and we are going overseas. We're paying for our own fare, paying for our own housing or homestay.
This is a travel tax.
It's just a travel tax exemption
1,600 pesos.
for the kids.
Yes.
See, we're not asking them for any money at all. So we send. So we take care of our own expenses because we are not members of the National Sports Association. Now, when we go abroad, we expect to be treated with dignity.
Of course.
In last year, 2 years ago, these non-PASA association, non-PASA members, or former PASA members that refused to have anything to do with them because they saw the way it was being run. So they started holding their own competitions and are producing gold medals in many competitions overseas. And Mr. Mark Joseph writes to the organizer and says, these are not recognized athletes or swimmers by the Philippine Amateur Sports Swimming Association.
By PASA.
They're not allowed to swim.
In competitions that are independent of the IOC, of the POC, and all that.
IOC, those
swimmers. There's small little events, small little swim meets.
Swimming club, swimming leagues, little swimming clubs.
Now, okay, in the NSAs, okay, so the PSC gives money to the NSAs. Now, each NSA, and there's an NSA for basketball, for badminton, boxing.
I think there must be 45 or more of them now.
45 or more NSAs. Yeah. Now, in each NSA, is there only one member? Like in
they will recognize only one.
Only one.
Yes.
Okay. In this case, it's the Philippine
it's
Amateur
PASA.
Swimming Association.
Now, to continue the story about Malaysia, the children started to cry because they were there. They paid for their own fare. They didn't ask for money.
Non-PASA members. Okay.
They're non-PASA members.
Yes.
They went there. Mr. Mark Joseph sends an email. In the Philippines, you can easily fake your passport, fake documents, so these are not allowed. And one of those kids was a son of Jerry Carpio, who is the present associate sports editor of the Philippine Star. So his son was banned from swimming. But the other kids were crying, the team of North Borneo said, oh, there's Filipino kids, look at them. What an embarrassment.
They've been disowned.
They've been disowned by their own country.
By their own country.
And yet their statistics show they're excellent swimmers.